I've been pretty excited about Spider-Man lately, if you couldn't tell. No Way Home is coming out, and while I could be cynical and act like I'm above the way they're exploiting my nostalgia, I'd be lying if I said I haven't wanted this for years.
You're not Peter Parker.
The new version of a character meeting the old version of that character has always been a fascination of mine. I loved The Five Doctors, I loved Sonic Generations, I loved Turtles Forever, and I love the 90s Spidey finale Shattered Dimensions and Into the Spider-Verse. Multiverse shenanigans have kind of become a staple of Spider-Man, and if I'm being totally honest, I did spend my first viewing of Spider-Verse holding my breath for the three Spideys. It's been the dream ever since Tom Holland took over. Tobey Maguire was the Spider-Man of my childhood, alongside Christopher Daniel Barnes, so him and his villains make me feel like I'm back in the safe embrace of Spider-Man Friend or Foe on the PS2 Superhero Squad figures, and not having to have a job because I'm 7. But actually, Andrew Garfield coming back is kind of more exciting to me. Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out when I was 13, and honestly, I adored it. It felt like it had come at just the right time. I just watched through all of Spectacular Spider-Man, and it felt like I was getting my Spider-Man movie series. One that captured the spirit of the character the same way Spectacular did, and with the promise of so much more to come. But it never did. And while Tom Holland has his moments, I think his opening scene in Civil War is one of the best Spider-Man scenes on film, MCU Spider-Man has, for the most part, kind of left me cold. So while the return of the Raimiverse is the star of the show, Tobey's story already feels complete. Andrew's very much does not, and the fact that that Peter Parker that I got invested in gets to continue his story has more potential to feel important to me. And then there's Tom. They've got me in the theater with Spider-Mans I care about more, but is there any chance that this will be a good MCU Spidey story? I don't know. The central emotional conflict seems intriguing, maybe because it relies on villains who care about Spider-Man, not Iron Man.
You're flying out into the darkness to fight ghosts.
What do you mean?
They all die fighting Spider-Man. It's their fate.
And Tom's Peter seems to be getting more serious moments than he's had before.
Ever since I got bit by that spider, I've only had 1 week where my life has felt normal. That was when you found out.
But he's still a little bit annoying.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Dr. Otto Octavius.
Wait, no, seriously, what's your actual name?
Get a new joke, please. It's always been my stance, but even if I don't like the movie, I've been eating good. Spider-Verse 2 is on the way, freshman year sounds like a potentially good idea. I'll live. But I am excited for No Way Home. I don't think I've ever been this excited for a movie I don't really expect to like. That's kind of the MCU's deal though, isn't it? They don't make movies, they make episodes of the ongoing Marvel TV series. But this looks like an episode with some stuff that I'll be very, very interested in. Something cinema. And I hope it continues after No Way Home. With Sam Raimi directing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I hope Tobey's Spidey gets to be a central player in that, maybe even with a Spider-Man 4 to follow. And with the confusing state of Sony's Spider-Man universe, as it's currently called, I hope they establish that the universe the Venom and Morbius movies are set in is the Amazing Spider-Man universe, and Andrew Garfield can be its resident Spider-Man. Those ideas are both a bit far-fetched, and maybe Tobey and Andrew really will just drop in for No Way Home, say hi, and drop out again. After all, it's only so long until the multiverse as a central focus in comic book movies loses its shine, and it's definitely being oversaturated at the moment. But at the same time, the hype for Tobey and Andrew has been very loud, and I'm sure Sony and Marvel have taken notice. But whatever happens, even if it's just for one movie, all of my favorite Spider-Man toys get to be in the same box. Andrew, Tobey, J.K. Simmons, Willem Dafoe in the Power Ranger Goblin suit, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe again, Sandman, Electro complete with the mask. They did the friggin' mask, I'm so happy. The worst lizard design, Tom Hardy Venom potentially. This movie's definitely no Spider-Verse, but it really is Spider-Man Endgame. And the way it's retroactively united 3 Spider-Man franchises into a single oeuvre, one series that together builds to a shared climax, is interesting.
Hopefully it'll work.
Into the Spider-Verse is powerful because it shows that the core principles of Spider-Man are not unique to Peter Parker. Anyone can wear the mask. You can wear the mask. That person who helps others simply because it should or must be done, and because it is the right thing to do, is indeed, without a doubt, a real superhero. So if No Way Home is a kind of an ending, if Tom Holland wraps it up and the MCU lets Miles take over, which I doubt will happen soon, but has to happen eventually, then the thing No Way Home has to offer that Spider-Verse doesn't is a complete focus on Peter Parker. And because I have Tobey and Andrew, and even Yuri Lowenthal and Jake Johnson as points of comparison, the MCU's Peter hasn't always gotten to feel like Peter Parker to me. But having a sense of guilt, of responsibility for supervillains who died fighting parallel universe versions of you, that's Peter Parker. Thanks for watching this. If you're new here and you liked this, I've got a deep dive into Spider-Verse you can watch here. Thanks.